Everyone is asking whether AI is going to take their jobs, and quite honestly, you should be preparing as if it is. This video is for you if you're nervous about what AI means for your career going forward. And by the end of this episode, you'll understand why I'm no longer relying on my job as my safety net and what I'm building instead. We're in a really weird space in the job market right now. It's no hire, it's no fire. I mean, if you have a job, you are holding on to it as tight as you can. If you're looking for a job, I mean, have been looking for jobs for 18 months to 2 years now. It's how long it's taking to get a job. And there's this big looming fear over everybody that if I still have a job, AI is going to come take it. And so on one hand, you're getting advice from people that you need to AI proof your career and that you need to learn AI and that that's going to protect you. But the reality is companies are not letting people go because of what AI can or cannot do. It's all they need is the perception. If it is perceived that AI can do your job, they are cutting costs. I mean, because think about it. People want to make employers out to be the villains when in reality, a business is simply an individual dealing with what's going on in the economy to them. So for your employer, their costs have gone up, their revenues have gone down. Everything you're feeling at home in your own pocketbook, food costs gone up for you. Your employment, not in your employment, but your paycheck has probably been stagnant. I know a lot of people are not getting raises. Raises are like 1% if you're lucky right now. And so your employer is feeling that same thing, most likely. So if they can look at AI and feel like this is going to be the answers to my problems, it's going to allow me to correct the decrease in revenue that I've been seeing, and it's going to help me decrease these rising costs that I'm seeing, of course they're going to lean into it. And so naturally, people are thinking that if I get good at AI, that I can actually save my job. And I don't actually know if that's the case anymore. Just for kicks and giggles, I went on to LinkedIn and I started looking at jobs, all the jobs that are asking for AI. And I just started doing a little bit of an experiment to see if it even mattered if you had, a lot of AI skill, because I've been building agents on my own for my own businesses. And I've been using a lot of AI just in my own personal enterprise. And so I wanted to see if that even mattered. What I saw just doing a brief experiment is that although there are a lot of jobs that are asking for AI experience, there does seem to be a abundance of new roles being created because of the need to understand AI. The job market is the job market, okay? You look at one of those roles, is 400 people have applied within the first hour. And so even if you are a needle in the haystack and you have these great AI skills, guess what? The hardest part about the job market right now is not having the skill. It's not even finding the job. The hardest part is actually getting someone's attention. It's sticking out from the pack well enough to even get the interview. Because another thing that I saw is I saw jobs that were posted and taken down in the same day because of overabundance of applications. It doesn't matter if you apply within seconds of them posting the role, you are still competing with so many people, and that is the real issue. So I don't even know if buttering up your AI skill, it's definitely not going to help you get a new job. And I don't know if it's going to help you keep a job because everybody's employing the same strategy. I mean, if everybody on your team is using AI, the same company sponsor AI in the same way to do the job, clearly having the AI skill is not going to help you stand out. It's not going to help you keep your job. So you need to do something else. Instead of trying to AI proof your job and keep yourself out of, layoff and positioning yourself for new AI roles as they approach, you need to remove the dependency on one income source, period. There's literally no way to get around that. And this has been a conversation for decades, right? People have been saying that, one income source is fragile. And I think it took up until about 2020 for that to really be a reality and really set in with the majority. I think, when that conversation first got introduced, when the internet got really big and you started to see other people like building lives on their terms, that was only a reality for a small subset of Americans. But right now, what we're seeing is a large subset of Americans need multiple sources of income simply to survive. And so instead of asking yourself, how can I use AI to be better at my job and to position myself better for the job I already have? What can you do to remove the dependency on that one thing? That's the real cheat code. And I came to this realization several years ago. First, my partner, his job started before I bought any real estate. I was just nose down, career girly, doing my thing, climbing the ladder. And then my partner, his job started talking about layoffs. And that was the first time either one of us had even experienced that idea. And so we were both pretty naive probably at the time. And so it's like, that's not going to happen. You're a top performer. They like you. You know, your job is safe, that whole kind of thing. And lo and behold, he got let go. And so that is what put the battery in my back that I've been toiling around this real estate thing for a couple of years now. And I have to pull the trigger because I realized in that moment that it doesn't matter how good you are, how much they like you, how far up the ladder you have climbed. When the income stops, the income stops, period. So that's when I went all in on buying real estate because I was like, I need some income that this one person doesn't control. Then the universe continues to show me that because then I become a people manager and then I start having to lay people off. And I saw the looks on people's faces when you have to tell them that there's no longer a job here for them. So then I kept building. And then a few years later, I changed jobs. I moved across the country. And right after COVID, the business that my company was operating in, well, it gets shut down because of COVID. And so guess what? Now it's finally my turn. It's my turn to get pulled into the room with HR and not know what the heck this is about and walk out with basically a severance package and a last day of work. So finally it's happened to me. And I'm like, at that point, I was just so grateful that I saw the warning signs early on and I started doing something about it. And I think that's what's happening right now is we're in the squeeze. AI has happened. Like the economy has tanked. The things have happened. We're in the squeeze. And now it's never too late to go do the thing. But it's like if there was ever a time that you ever thought about being able to create leverage and other sources of income, like I don't know what you're doing if you haven't started. And so instead of trying to AI proof your career, you also need to have this thing that you're working on the side that has nothing to do with the employer at all. Because it's almost becoming a requirement. It's no longer a nice to have something that you can go do if your paycheck stops tomorrow. Like, what is the plan? And we used to be able to walk around with our heads in the sands and not think about that kind of that thing. But now, I mean, people are on edge. I mean, anytime you get a meeting plopped in your calendar from your manager that you weren't expecting, it's like, oh Lord, what is this? So the plan can actually show up in multiple ways. The plan can look like investing in real estate. It could be getting really proficient in how do people actually live without jobs and all they do is invest in the stock market? It can look like getting your money up so that you have money to invest in the stock market. It can look like getting rid of all of your debt so that, the money that you do have, if God forbid your job is no longer protected, that it can go a little bit further. It can look like, wow, I'm a rock star at work. What can I do for myself with these skills that I have been working on all these years? And I think that's the number one missed opportunity to me is that you went to school, you've been working for 10 to 15 years, and you don't think that anything that you've done or any of the skills that you have accumulated over all that time, that you can take that out into the market on your own and figure out how to monetize it. I honestly and truly think that when the world changed and you just went to college and you just went to work for a company, I honestly think that did a disservice to us because before that, you had a skill, you had a trade, you knew how to wake up in the morning and go make some money. And now we become so dependent on walking into a building, having our hand out, waiting for somebody to pay us at the end of the day, that we have completely lost the the skill of nobody's going to pay me today, and I still need to provide for myself, and I still need to provide for my family. And what am I going to do? And so if you have a job, you better be using every minute, every spare minute that you have to be working on that problem. I don't think anybody is safe. Not blue collar workers, not white collar, not executives, not, I don't care how high up you are in the organization. Nobody is safe. And so if working on the plan needs to be top priority. If you can't squeeze 1 hour out of every day to work on the save myself plan, the pay myself plan, you know what they say, if you're not growing, you're dying. And I don't want to be morbid here, but it's like, if you're not working on how to expand and how to increase your leverage and increase your opportunities, then you're working on decreasing them subconsciously. So before AI comes and disrupts my corporate career, I've gotten very proficient in AI. I have learned how to collapse time. I have learned how to get a day's worth of work done in an hour so that I can be in more than one place at a time, so that I can work my job and then work on my pay myself plan and then work on my personal brand and create content and create assets, things that can pay me whether I'm working or not. This channel and this video is an example of that. This video will pay me while I'm off doing other things, while I'm off creating other means of leverage. And so instead of trying to use AI to get better at my job, I figured out how to create income for myself, how to create time most importantly. I think a lot of people have not been able to work on a method of paying themselves and freeing themselves of the dependency of one income because first they haven't figured out how to create time. If you spend 8 hours a day working your job, yeah, you're tired. And when you get home, you may or may not have the energy to work on that. So you have to figure out how to make better use of your time. That's one thing I've been using AI to do. I mean, even at work. And I do think your company might find it valuable that you could get more work done in less time, but let's be honest, they just gonna give you more work. You know what I mean? It's not going to benefit you as the employee. It only benefits the employer. And I'm not saying you should do that. I think we should all be as efficient with our time as we can. But I think everybody needs to be walking around looking at the big picture. Like all the time, head on a swivel. What is the big picture going on right now? And so with that additional time, I've also been able to sit back, look at my skill set. What can I monetize? What do people actually need that I know I'm the answer to? Can I create a digital product for that? Can I go apply to be a consultant for a company? Can I put myself out there as open to work for contract work? Or, what can I do that doesn't conflict with the main thing? And to be clear, I'm actually against the narrative that you need to build up your side income so that you can quit the main thing. In today's economy, you need the main thing and the side thing. So I'm not saying you need to quit the main thing. You definitely need to maintain that, but it's main thing and it's no longer the option of either or. And so the reality is there is no real way to protect yourself from what's coming. Like if AI is coming for your job, it's coming for your job because it's going to come for your job at this company and the next company and the company after that. The best use of your time is to actually eliminate the dependency altogether, to do everything you can. That's where you should be spending your time right now. Not getting certifications, not getting more education, because those things cue you up to get a stable career at a stable company, and stable isn't a word that should be in anybody's vocabulary right now. So if you are sitting at your job and you are feeling unfulfilled and you got an hour to spare and you don't know what to do, start figuring out how to remove your dependency on one income. Whether that's talking to AI about it, start figuring out what that one asset is that can work for you. Is that building real estate? Is that your stock portfolio working for you in the background with compound interest? Is that creating digital assets that you can sell morning, noon, and night? I feel like we've spent a lot of time collecting skills and certifications and pieces of paper, and now it's time to start collecting assets. And if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So none of us know what's coming for our jobs. We don't know what AI or the economy or war or any of that. We don't know how any of that is going to impact us. All we can do is create our own options and to position ourselves that we are not dependent on any one thing or any one person. My name is Jerry, and if you're still here, do me a favor and give that like button a smash so you can keep building that confidence and keep building that cash. I make videos for ambitious people who want to live life on their terms. And if you want to get a behind the scenes look at my businesses, you can find me over on Substack at Confidence is Cash. If you want the playbook, every action that I laid out for you in this episode, if you want it in a downloadable form, I create one for every single episode. It's called the Action Steps and Playbook. The link for that is in the description. Let me know down in the comments what's the first asset you're going to go build. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.